Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. I'm Carol and I'm glad to have you here. I hope you will consider subscribing. So today we're going to do another canning video for you, and it's going to be something really unique and fun. And I'm going to dedicate this video to my precious baby girl, Victoria Rose. I love her to pieces. She is 23 years old and is a connoisseur of all things coffee. So the other day she was at a coffee shop and was having a matcha latte with caramel pear sauce. So she messaged me and she said, "Mom, do you think you could make this?" And I said, "I'm not sure I could make a canning version of it, but I could certainly make a batch of something similar to what you had in your matcha latte, and you could at least store it in the fridge." But when I got to doing some research, I found on the website Food in Jars, which is considered a safe canning website, she indeed does have a recipe for caramel pear sauce. Hers has some vanilla in it too, so I think she calls it vanilla caramel or caramel vanilla pear sauce. Anyway, that is what we're going to be making today. I am going to dedicate this video to my precious daughter. She is one of my favorite fans and she is just an amazing young woman. So, Tori Rose, this is for you. Just a word of caution. For this recipe, you're going to be making a caramel component, and if any of you have ever made caramel, you know it can be a little bit tricky. You also need to know that it does like to spitter and sput when you add other ingredients to it, so make sure you start with a pan that's nice and deep. It doesn't have to be, you don't want a wide pan, you want a deep pan that's kind of on the smaller side. So if you have something like that, that will work really well for you. But we're going to start by pureeing our pears. You're going to need 2 pounds of pears. For me, that was about 4 Bartlett pears, and you're going to peel them and core them and coarsely chop them. To that, we're going to add a little bit of salt, some vanilla bean paste if you do not have that on hand, and I did not. I substituted some vanilla caviar from, I nabbed two vanilla beans from my vanilla brewing jar and scraped out the caviar, and I used the caviar for my vanilla flavor. You could also use just straight up pure vanilla extract instead, but the recipe itself does call for 2 teaspoons of vanilla bean paste. And you need a little bit of water, and then some sugar. So it's really basic ingredients: pears, sugar, vanilla, and some water. That's pretty much it. It is a water bath or steam canning recipe. You guys know I love steam canning, so I'm going to be steam canning it. It only has to be steam canned or water bath canned for 10 minutes, so it's really pretty quick. It does take some cooking time, so it took me about an hour to do it. But anyway, I thought this would also be fantastic for gift giving, so I'm excited to do this video for you. We are just starting December, and I'm sure many of you are looking for great holiday gifts. This would be a good one. This would be fantastic stirred into oatmeal, stirred into yogurt. You could obviously put it in your tea. As my daughter found out, it would be great in regular tea. She did have it in a matcha tea latte, and if I can get her to share with me how they made the matcha tea latte, I will be sure to leave that in the description box below, because that would be really fun for all you tea lovers to put together a nice little gift basket with the matcha tea, maybe a nice teacup, and the pear vanilla sauce with a little card on how to make a matcha tea latte with it. So anyway, I'm going to bring you in close and we're going to get started. Okay guys, here we go. I have my 2 pounds or 4 pears that I have peeled, cored, and coarsely chopped. To that, I am going to add the caviar from 2 vanilla beans. The recipe does call for 2 teaspoons of vanilla bean paste, which I did not have. So I nabbed a couple of vanilla beans from my vanilla jar. So I'm going to use the caviar from 2 beans instead of the paste. You could also just use some pure vanilla extract as well. We're going to use a little pinch of salt just to bring out all the flavors. And then we are going to add 1/4 cup of water. And then we're going to puree all of that together. We should end up with 3 to 3.5 cups of pear puree. Okay, so now we are ready to make the caramel part of this. So we need 3 cups of sugar, just regular granulated sugar, and we need 1.5 cups of water. We're going to give that a stir. Now I'm going to turn my heat up to about a medium-high heat. We're going to bring this up to a simmer, and we're going to simmer for 15 to 20 minutes until we get a really nice deep caramel color to our sugar. Now, once it starts bubbling, you do not want to stir it. You need to leave it alone. All you want to do is gently move the pan around in a circular motion, and I'll bring you back here in a bit and show you that. You don't want to stir it, or your water will evaporate and you'll just have chunky sugar at the bottom of your pan, and we don't want that. Don't ask me how I know that. It is from experience. So we're gonna bring this up to a simmer. I will bring you back and show you what it looks like. Okay, like I said, once you have a nice simmer going on, you're just gonna take the handle of your pan and gently swirl it. You do not want to stir at this point. I do have my candy thermometer attached. We are wanting this to reach between 250 and 290 degrees. The higher the temperature, the darker the color will be. We're looking for a deep copper color for our caramel sauce, so or for the caramel part. So I'm going to keep simmering and cooking here. Every now and then, like I said, just give it a little bit of a swirl until you reach 250, between 250 and 290 degrees. Okay guys, I hope you can see that. We have a nice amber copper color going on in our pot, and you can tell I've removed it from the heat. Once you get to that point, you want to remove it from the heat. So I just want to point out that you just want to swirl periodically. You don't want to do it consistently throughout the process. Just every now and then give it a little swirl and do not stir it. Now we are going to stir in our pear puree, and you want to do it very carefully because as soon as I start pouring it in here, it's going to spit and sputter. Once you get it all stirred back together, and you guys, you do want to be really careful when you are stirring the pear puree into your caramel, because it does spit and spatter and it can make a mess. I made a little bit of a mess with mine, so please be extra careful. Anyway, once you get it back in the pot, you are going to put it back on your heat, and you're going to bring it back up to 215 to 225 degrees, and then we are all set for canning. Okay guys, we are all set for canning. I just want to reiterate, please be careful when you are making this, and when you bring it up to temperature the second time to the 215 to 225 degrees, you want to make sure you're stirring it constantly so that it doesn't stick or burn on the bottom. Anyway, we're ready for canning. Modern canning guidelines state we do not need to pre-sterilize jars or lids if you're going to be canning for 10 minutes or more. We are going to be processing for 10 minutes. I'm going to be steam canning. You can steam can or water bath can this recipe. So we are going to ladle in our sauce. We're going to ladle in our pear sauce to 1/4 inch headspace. I do have 3 quarts of simmering water in the bottom of my canner, and you want to make sure you are starting with hot jars. You use, there's really not much here to debubble, but I'm going to use my debubbling tool, plastic butter knife, chopstick, whichever you prefer. Just give it a little stir. Then we are going to use a paper towel dipped in white vinegar to clean the rims of our jars. You don't want anything interfering with you getting a good seal. And we're going to add our lids. And our rings to fingertip tight. Okay guys, I have my 4 half-pint jars in my steam canner. If you are water bath canning, you want to make sure you have enough water in your canner to cover your jars by at least 1 inch. For steam canning, you have a dial gauge on top of your canner that tells you when to start your processing time. If you are water bath canning, you want to make sure you bring it to a full rolling boil, then start your processing time. Adjust your heat just to maintain the full rolling boil for the 10 minutes. With steam canning, you have a dial gauge on top and you want it to be in your green zone before you start your processing time. So again, you want to adjust your heat just to maintain staying in your green zone during processing. Process for 10 minutes, and then we're going to let our jars sit with the lid on for at least 5 to 10. There's a lot of sugar going on here, and sugar syrups, things that have sugar, high sugar content or sugar syrups in them tend to siphon. So to prevent that, I'm going to leave my lid on for 5 to 10 minutes take the lid off, let my jar sit for another 5 to 10, and then take them out. Okay guys, we are all done. I did process for 10 minutes like I told you, and then I let the lid stay on my canner for a while because there is sugar syrup involved here. I want to eliminate siphoning if I can, and that's one way to do it, is to let your jars sit a little bit longer in your canner. But anyway, we are all done. That did make 4 half-pint jars, and you can see how pretty it is. And it tastes amazing. And like I stated earlier, there are many delicious uses for this. I think it would also be great on pancakes, which I didn't think about earlier when I was giving you the rundown on how I think you should use it. But I will leave some fantastic ideas for you in the description box below. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I hope to see you next time. Have a great one.